Hello again, herb lovers. Today I want to talk to you about one of the ways that you can quickly and easily propagate some plants from one of these herb pots that you purchase at the supermarket. So I popped out the other day and I picked up one of these lovely little pots of herbs that you can buy at the supermarket for, I think it was about $4.50, which for herbs that you're supposed to just kind of take to the top of and cut off and then not have much left, I think is extravagant. But what I want to show you is how you can take something that cost you a few dollars and turn it into plants for your garden that you can get to grow for much longer than was the anticipated life of this plant. So what happens with these herbs is they are lots of seeds all potted together, and this is very wet, but I'm going to pop this little beastie out of its pot and I'm hoping it's going to cooperate with me. Okay, and the first thing you can see obviously is that there's a lot of roots in here, and there is a lot of roots in here because there are a lot of plants in here. What these propagation techniques rely on is lots and lots of plants that aren't really going to live very long if they are left in this pot. So what we can do is we can tease them apart gently, like I'm doing up here, and we can work them down into a number of plants. It's almost plants for free if you're not ready yet to start growing your own plants from seed. This is another way of doing it. So you can see that there's a few plants separating neatly here as I carefully tease them out. It's kind of like how it is for me in the morning when I've washed my hair and got out of the shower and I'm trying to tease all the knots out of it. So especially with time, just gently tease it apart. And this is a method that you would use with herbs that are possibly perennials. You can use some annuals, and if you're not sure about the difference between annuals and perennials, I'll leave a link up around here somewhere for you to have a look at that video. But I have done this with basil as well. I've taken a pot of this kind of basil away on holiday and then dumped it in somebody's garden when I've left and it's grown for the rest of the season. But this is really good to do if you want a lot of plants that are going to keep growing in your garden, and thyme is one of those plants that is going to keep growing. So we can continue to tease some of these out, and my lovely video editor will probably cut out some of this teasing because he'll get a bit bored waiting for me. But anyway, I'll tease away and continue to tease away, and what we get to is we can start to see where the little plants are starting from, and I'm seeing at the moment that it looks like I might have 4 or 6 or 8 little plants in here. The other thing is if you get bored trying to tease and you don't have much time, you can simply chop these off because we're going to have to chop them anyway when we grow them on. So let's chop these ends off here. Give the poor plant a haircut, which will help with the teasing. And none of this will go to waste. You can either dry this, and I've shown you how to dry herbs. You can check that video up here. You can either dry this, or I'm going to show you another easy way to propagate more plants out of this bunch that we've got here as well. So now we've got our plant with its little haircut. What we are going to do is we're going to gently tease these roots apart. And you can possibly hear the roots teasing apart, but here we go. So over here now, we've got one whole plant that we can pop some soil in here and pot it up, and we've got a plant there. And if we continue to gently tease, we can see how many more plants we can get out of here. And this may look brutal, but honestly these plants are really good. You can give them a good drink of liquid fertilizer. Seaweed's good. Any of the fertilizers that we've made in some of our fertilizer videos, they will like something liquid. because they're having a bit of a shock with what we're doing here at the moment. But as you can see the number of plants we've got once we start pulling these apart. So I think there's actually 2 there as well. If we take those gently apart, just gently break these babies apart. You can always apologise to them for what you're doing at the moment, but they're going to be so much happier when they're living on their own instead of all crammed together in that pot, because they're just going to get damp and dry. I don't know if you've bought herbs like this before from the supermarket, and they just turn into green sludge. So this looks a bit brutal, but these herbs will be very grateful to us afterwards. So there we go. See, there's even another 3 here. You know, it's insane the number of plants that are packed in here. So we can even take these 3 apart. As long as we baby them, we keep them inside for a little while, perhaps on a warm sunny windowsill. We pot them up. So far we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's another 2 there, but we'll call that 1, 4, 5, 6, 7 herb plants. Now I know that if I went down to my local garden centre and bought 7 thyme plants, I'm going to be paying about $4 a plant. So you do the maths, what's that, $28. So we've got 7 or 8 thyme plants that will grow on and will do well just from that little pot. Okay, now the other way that we can, I'm just going to rinse my fingers. The other way that we can pot these plants on and grow them on is from cuttings. So we can dry these like I've said, or we can take these little bits of thyme. Here is one of them, and I can pop that in a jar of water, and where there is a leaf node here, which is where the leaves meet the stem, each one of those is going to start growing some roots. And I've got an example down here to show you that I put in water from out in the garden a while ago, so that you can see how amazing this is. So I don't know if you can see the little roots that are growing. This is pizza time. So the little roots are growing from each of those nodes, just sitting happily in the jar there. So you can propagate that way as well. Just prepare these little cuttings, pop them in some water, keep the water clean. In here I've got a rosemary, which is not quite started yet, but it hasn't died, it's not far away. And here's a mint, and you can definitely see the mint roots growing here. It doesn't matter that it's got a few dead leaves on the top here. I thought about pulling them off, and I thought, no, I'll just show you that a little bit of the top died, but you can see it's coming away again, and the roots are growing fine. So you could just pop that in the ground now, and you've got another plant. So, and we can pop this straight in the ground now too, and this is just going to take off and grow, and there you have it. That's how you can get so many plants growing from that one little tiny plant. And if I don't want to propagate all of these, I'm just going to dry them anyway, and then we all use them fresh in cooking. So nothing goes to waste. So there we have it. Ask me any questions about the process in the comments below, or let me know if there's anything else that you want me to cover off in future videos. Love and lettuce, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.